So Chris, we're coming up on the Longacres Mile, and you have a horse by the name of Dontmesswithkitten, who has been running very well lately. And tell us a little bit about Dontmesswithkitten from being a 2-year-old, because you had this horse just when he was first getting things started.
I did. I got him in, and I broke him, and I really liked him. He was just an easygoing guy, easy to break, quite a character. We were able to leave him a stud colt because he was just so friendly. And one thing I really like about him is he loves to train. He'll go out there and he'll train, and if you want, he'll go back to the track and train again a second time. He's just a neat horse.
When you had him then, do you think as far ahead as 3-year-old and 4-year-old year, thinking that maybe there could be some potential stardom for a horse like this?
He always tried every time he ran him. I think the first time I started him, it was 5.5, and I knew that wasn't his best distance. Even in the mornings, the further he goes, the stronger he gets, the more he liked training. So I thought as the races stretched out, and he would just get better, and he did do that. So I didn't know about as far as mile potential at that time, but I was pretty excited to run him in the futurity as a 2-year-old.
So you had him for 3 races, and then a couple of years he was doing other things. When did you find out that you got him back this year, and what was it like to kind of hear the news that you'd be training him again this season?
I was real excited. I have a couple of other horses for that owner, and so I stayed real close in touch with how the horse was doing, because he's always been one of my favorites. And I was pretty excited when he said he was going to bring him back up here and run him in the stakes. And if he did well, you know, he would potentially point him towards the mile. The first time he ran, when he ran 6.5, it was kind of a little bit disappointing, but again, that's not his best distance. And then ran a little better the next time, and the last race he ran really good. And at that time, he had already pulled the Coggins to send the horse back south again, or possibly up to Canada. And after that race, he said he would leave him here and try him in the mile. So I was very excited about that. Has
there been any kind of key that you found to the horse this year? Because it seems like his numbers have really improved now in his 4-year-old year.
He's just a nice horse that's been slow to mature, and I think he'll just one of those horses that is just getting better with age. You know, he's very sound. Like I said, he loves training. The further he goes, the better he gets. And I would even like to see him at some point, you know, going like 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles races. So I think the horse is just maturing very well, and hopefully the best is yet to come for him.
He's kind of been the sleeper in this older horse division, and he ran such a great second in the Mount Rainier. Did he surprise you at all?
He did, just because he set such fast fractions on the front end. I was hoping he wouldn't kind of give it up at the end. And the problem is he runs in blinkers because he doesn't focus really well, but then he can't see the horses coming up on him. And when he was dueling down the lane, I think Striker PhD was just far enough outside. In fact, there was a picture, I think, on the Emerald Downs website where his eye's looking back and he sees Striker PhD go on by, and it's like, oh wait, and he looks like he kind of tries to kick back in, but Striker PhD had the momentum to go on by. But he's just a real gutsy horse, and surprised, yeah, a little bit, but I know there's talent in there. You know, it's just yet to come out, I think. So
Chris, you grew up in the Northwest, and the Longacres Mile has always been the jewel of Northwest racing. What do you remember about the history of the race, and how important is it to you in terms of being a top race here in the state?
I think we need to keep the graded race here at Emerald Downs. We need to try to attract some better horses. I think it's real important. The history of the race is just, you know, I remember at Longacres watching it, and the roar of the crowd as the horses come thundering down the lane, and it's always brought some, you know, really nice horses up, brings out the crowd, and it's just always been a real exciting race. I'm happy I have a horse in there. You know, it's very exciting, and I hope he does well.
So when you're in the barn and you're walking by Dontmesswithkitten's stall, are you thinking about the mile at all with him each time you go by? I mean, sometimes you just have to look forward to a big race.
You do, but you know, I don't really think about it that way. I hate to say this, but it's just another race. You know, yes, it's important. Yes, I want him to run well, Do I think about it in terms of, you know, he's running in a big graded race? Do I do anything different? No. You know, every race is important, I think, to every horse, and I just treat them all that way.
What about the owners, Henry Leong and Daniel Liu? Can you keep their feet on the ground?
They're pretty excited. They're really excited. You know, Henry's been in the business for a long time, and he purchases not a lot of horses, but he has quite a few, and this has kind of been his dream horse, you know, the one that's taken him somewhere, and he's very excited.
Chris, I want to wish you congratulations on the great campaign so far, and good luck to you and the connections in the Longacres Mile.
Thank you very much.